Darren, when you've done rebuilds the last 2 years at Drake and West Virginia, you had the preseason trips at both of those. Obviously, it's kind of the same thing in Indiana. When you get to the season, have you noticed any kind of common themes when you've had these, when you hit the actual season, when you've had these kind of rebuilds?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is you're learning a lot every time you step out on the floor, whether it's practice, games, whatever. They're just a different situation that every individual on the team, you don't know how they're going to react to because you haven't coached them together before. So those are things early in the year that you figure out a lot very quickly, and you can't really simulate it until you start to play games. And every situation you get put in is something new for the group. So there's a lot of learning opportunities, as we go along. And you have it all the way through the year, like you continue to grow and get better. But I think it's especially true with a brand new team because you just don't have the data to go like how they're going to respond to a 2-point game or, this certain style of play or whatever it may be.
Yeah, Coach. What are some things that need to happen for Lamar to get back to like Lamar we saw the first 3 games versus the last couple?
Keep shooting. That's it. Just keep letting it rip. I'm not worried about that at all. He had a tough shooting night. That's you're going to have those once in a while. But like I said, after the game, he's more likely to go 10 for 17 the next night than continue on that pace. But the percentages always work themselves out. I mean, that's just what they are. Good shooters are good shooters. They don't just they don't just forget how to shoot. So he's gonna keep letting them go. We're gonna keep telling him to let them go. We're gonna run all the stuff that we always run for them. And at the end of the year, my guess is those numbers are gonna look like they've always looked for them.
On that, are there experiences that you've kind of had that have helped you handle a really good shooter when he is slumping, like when to push, when not to push at all?
I think, again, it's just giving your guys the utmost confidence in them and just, encourage them to keep doing what they do. I actually would almost go the other way sometimes of you can't pass that one up. I don't care that you've missed 6 in a row. You're too good a shooter for us we can't draw up a play to get you that open of a shot. So if that 7th one presents itself, shoot it again. And that's the way you have to approach it. And I think all guys that played the game, they're shooters that you just know that's how you have to be. I think it's true in a lot of sports. You get them start, baseball, the greatest hitter in the world, get out 70% of the time, and that's just, you're going to miss in basketball. That's okay. Just keep staying confident, keep trusting your work.
Yeah, Coach, excuse me. Just thoughts on Kansas State. They have a prolific offense. I know they got one guy whose name has escaped me. He's averaging 28 points a game. Just your thoughts on that.
Yeah, wow. That's what I say about the way they're playing offense right now. It's they're getting out and they're getting out fast and they're in transition and they put a lot of pressure on your defense to get organized and get put together in a hurry. They have a lot of guys that can shoot it. I know going into the other night, I don't know if it's still true. I didn't look at the updated stats, but they were the number 1 3-point shooting team in the country, and they're playing like it. They're shooting with that type of confidence. So it would be a great test for us, and not only transition but our half-court defense to do a good job there.
Yeah, Coach, just what are the answers, I guess, with rebounding for you guys? Obviously, I think it was 19 offensive boards you gave up the other night. Just to kind of figure out improve in those areas, I guess. What do you think needs to happen? I guess, is it just crashing the boards harder? Is it kind of putting guys in different spots? I guess what needs to happen there?
It's a little bit of both. You go back and look at the tape, and I'll understand. Maybe the games that we're playing, we're going to play even bigger opponents. We all know that. So, but there's still enough there that's you credit to where can we get better. We are what we are from a size standpoint, but what are the things we can control, and that's hitting. That's a little bit of an attitude. prioritizing rebounding and things, and collectively as a group, we can get there and we'll get there. We're just not there yet. So there's some habit things we got to continue to get better at. There's also a little bit of a mindset thing that we got to continue to improve on. If we're going to be a good defensive rebounding team, those are things we have to be good at. And if we're going to be a good team, we have to be good at defensive rebounding. That's going to be huge for us all year. And then on a nightly basis, that's going to determine a lot of our outcomes. Is can we be physical, tough enough, and have the right mindset to go get those balls.
Coach, you've talked a lot about how unselfish your team is, and that's apparent when you watch them. Can a team be too unselfish? Like, can guys pass up shots that they should be taking?
Yeah, at times, for sure. And again, I thought the other night, and a little bit was what we talked about. I think a couple guys missed a few, and then that came back around to them again, and maybe they were a little hesitant to still let it rip. And you can't do that. It's too hard to find those type of looks and those opportunities, especially for the guys that can really shoot it, that we're trying to find those ways to get them those type of shots. So, but yeah, you can definitely get that at times. I think we have a few different areas where we need to be more aggressive, especially with paint touches. I think that's something we got to continue to prioritize a little bit more.
You mentioned P.J. Haggerty a little bit, but his usage rate's like 34%. How different is game planning against a guy who creates so much of the offense for one team? And then what's the most important in stopping him?
Yeah, he's been off to an incredible start, playing at a high level. He creates a lot for others too. It's not just him scoring. So he comes off, he finds those shooters. He does a really good job of getting fouled in the paint. He gets in there and gets to the free throw line a lot. And then he's got good size, so he's got good body control. So he gets in there and he can finish over you as well. So there's a lot of reasons why he's off to the start that he is. He's a really good player, talented player. So again, like everything, it's going to take a collective effort to do a good job on him, but also not focus so much attention on him that now you're allowing those guys, the catch and shoots that they're looking for too.
Coach, with Reed and with Sam, how do you balance their minutes? Is it a matchup thing? Is it a feel thing? How do you balance those on a game-to-game basis?
Yeah, right now it's just kind of going, with the feel of the game and how the game's playing out. They both in different games have done really good things for us, and we've kind of played them accordingly to who's having the more productive night, and the minutes have kind of reflected that each night of what do we need during certain situations. So they're both doing a really good job. I like the impact and the different type of things they bring to us.
On Nick Dorn, I guess, what have you seen from him, and how pleased are you with how he's played over the 3 games he's been in, and how difficult is it to kind of balance, getting him back in and getting minutes to him?
Yeah, he's done a good job. He's getting more and more comfortable. You got to remember, he's been out for a long time, so it's, he's only been back playing for a couple weeks after being out, almost 6 months or whatever it was. So, it's just going to continue to get him more comfortable with what we're doing too. He's never played in the system and both offensively and defensively. But again, I like what I'm seeing from him in practice. I think he's continuing to get better and better there, and we're looking forward to seeing where that can ultimately grows into.
When you talk about the shots don't fall, the energy goes down, you talk about that as kind of fighting human nature. What does that look like for you guys in practice, trying to keep the intensity up in that respect?
Yeah, I think in practices have been great. Even when you talk about it in the games, it's just it is like there's, even from a fan standpoint, when you're scoring, there's just more energy that comes. It's just what people like, and basketball players, they like to score. But I don't think it's really impacted maybe our defense that much. There's been stretches. We've certainly had some tough stretches for 3-4 minutes in a couple of these games recently. But outside of that, I think our defense has still continued to play at a pretty high level. Just got to avoid those 2-3-4 minute lulls. That's hurt us a little bit, but overall, I think our guys continue to stay pretty focused. During those stretches, you just always got to fight it. I think that's just the main thing. Just always making sure, like, here's what's got to be constant for us. The shooting's going to go up and down throughout games, throughout the season, but make sure that our defensive end, that's got to be what always just keeps us right where we need to be, even during those stretches where we're not scoring it at a prolific rate.
Yeah, do you have any, Nick's back, obviously, do you have any more kind of a clear timeline about when you'd possibly get Jason Drake and Ristich back? I know Josh Harris may be a little behind them, but any sort of clear timeline for their return?
Not really. They're getting better. That's probably the main thing. They're all progressing. Starting to do more things within practice. So that's a good sign. So we'll be excited again to have those guys back and get them started. Working back into some minutes into the lineup and things.
You've had Andre now for, I think, 3 months. Just where have you seen him grow, and what's kind of the plan with him?
Yeah, Andre's someone I think's getting better and better. So he's doing some good stuff in practice, and we're still up in the air a little bit on what that's going to look like for him throughout the rest of the season. But he's doing a good job. He's approached every day. He's learning. What we're doing at both ends of the ball. But he's doing some good things for us out there.